Welcome back to the KSN show. Today we have a captain who I have sailed personally with, and he's going to explain financial literacy. Along with that, he's going to be sharing experiences from the sea where a ship literally went inside the water and came out. Believe me, it's a story to be heard of. So don't forget to watch the podcast till the end because a lot of value will be added in the sector of finance as well as merchant navy. So stay tuned, bringing to you Captain Avinash. For coming in such a short notice. For context, sir is going on a sail, I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'm leaving.
Right, sir.
For a month.
For a month.
Yeah.
We'll come there, sir. So first of all, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. Correct. Thank you very much for having me.
Right, sir.
I have not done this before, so this is going to be interesting.
Good, sir. Thank you for taking up that opportunity and having an experience. First, what I'll do is, sir, let me take you back to the 18-year-old boy who, I don't know, wanted to join merchant navy or not, and how he transitioned from that boy till where you are now, sir. So let's go to that era, sir. The 18-year-old Captain Avinash.
So I started. So what really made me join shipping is I had two uncles, my dad's brother-in-laws.
Okay.
One was a chief engineer and one was a captain.
Right.
And a lot of times, they were out and traveling and a lot of stories and pictures. And I remember the first time I went on a ship was maybe when I was like 3 or 5 years old.
Okay.
In Chennai with one of my uncles. He was a captain.
Right.
And I was petrified of the water. Even climbing the gangway was like screaming out my lungs out. And
Right.
they had to carry me up the gangway. But after that, I was mesmerized by the lifestyle, different place, different countries and a lot of sea stories. And that's the main reason why I also looked into this as a profession.
Okay.
So I started off in 1996. And at that time, we had no pre-sea training was a requirement. I mean,
Like no 1 year DNS or something?
nothing. So basically, I finished my 12 standard.
Okay.
And I joined as a direct entry cadet. So I just did my first aid at sea, basic firefighting and survival at sea. And I think the other one was... that's about it. So I think those three
elementary courses.
And 15 days, and I was on a ship.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I had no clue what was port, what was starboard.
Yes.
And I was on a ship where we didn't even have a third officer. So so there was master, chief mate, second mate, and 2 cadets.
Okay.
And so one of the cadets, the senior cadet, kept a watch. One of the watches with the master. So he used to keep the 8 to 12 watch in the night with the master.
Right.
And I remember, it was 2 months. This is a funny side of the whole story. So it was 2 months into being on a ship, and the chief mate one day said to me, Avinash, can you take sounding of number 2 DB? And at that time, you never learned how to say no. You said yes for everything. So even if you didn't understand something, you just said yes, sir, no problem.
Yes.
So I went down to the workshop, and I'm looking at what to do because I've never heard sounding. And I don't know what is sounding. I don't know anything. So the second engineer sees me, and he's like, what are you doing in the workshop? So I said, no, sir. Chief mate told me that he wanted the sounding of some tank. He said, which tank? I said, okay, it was number 2 DB. So he said, okay, do you know what is sounding? So he's like, no, I don't know what is sounding. So okay, come, I will show you what is sounding. So he said, take this hammer and come with me. And which tank is it? I said, number 2 DB, starboard side. So he told me to go to this is the sounding pipe.
Yeah.
And you open the sounding cover, and then you start hammering, and you listen to the sound. Okay, and you listen to the sound, and whatever sound comes, you go and tell the chief mate. So it was about 8:30 in the morning, and he's hiding, behind one of the containers.
Okay.
Very small, I think it was 108 meters, 320 TEU ship.
Oh, okay.
So really, really small ship.
Yeah.
And the chief mate's walking on deck, and then he can hear me banging, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Sir, you told me to take sounding." Who told you to take something like this? So it was a good laugh. So that's the second mate had a good laugh. And so I worked. The second engineer, had a good laugh. They a lot of pranks at times. So I did 1 year on the ship, and then I switched to another management company.
Okay.
Did a couple of years there. Then came down for my license.
Right.
And that time we took a long time, for doing our license. We had to do foundation and functions. Yeah, because I was not
no pre-sea training.
So I did like almost 38 months as a cadet.
Okay. Is it still possible such a thing to directly go on the ship?
I don't think so. Not in India, at least. Yeah, I don't think we can do this anymore. Yeah.
Why I'm asking, because a lot of students keep asking how to go about the shipping without any courses, without anything. I don't know why they ask, but just to break that myth that it's no more like that.
Yeah, it's no more. Yeah, I don't think so. Now it is all standardized, and it's good in one way because you learn a lot. At least you learn the basics, and today we are so focused on safety.
Absolutely.
When I joined shipping, safety was literally a joke.
Okay.
I mean, nobody took safety seriously. I mean, if you had a helmet, it was probably broken or cracked somewhere, and you're stealing gloves from the stevedores to wear it. So the safety was very, very poor, especially in management companies. I mean, we have come a long, long way with safety from what it was like 20, 25 years ago.
So do you remember any instance where you really questioned about the safety? Like you thought that this encounter can literally kill me or something like that?
You see, again, this was on my first ship. I mean, I had so many experiences on my first ship. On the first ship, I've lost containers overboard. I've had a collision.
You had a collision?
Yeah, I had a collision on that ship. We had a collision. We had a main engine failure and a steering gear failure, all in a span of 4 hours.
So let's go down there, sir. It's something which is rare to hear a direct experience. So what was it?
So basically, we were casting off the berth. So it was 6 months into my time on the ship. I did 12 months on that ship, and we were casting off the berth, and the ropes parted, and there was a strong current. And because the ropes parted, and they couldn't start the engines to control the ship, so we went and collided into a ship ahead.
Oh no!
And luckily, it was not much damage. A few railings broke. But at that time, I think the captains just had a word with each other and everything was...
Okay. Not like today.
Not like today. I mean, not like how it was today. But that was really long time ago. Luckily, the damage was not much. It was maybe a few bent railings. But then we turned around in the channel and then we had a main engine failure. We had to drop anchors in the middle of the channel and then call tugs to tow us out. And as soon as we were out in the out of the channel,
yes,
just dropping the pilot, we had a steering gear failure.
So what was the atmosphere like on the ship, and especially with you? What was happening? Like, what were you thinking?
I was a cadet, so I was just running around helping people and doing stuff. And I mean, yeah, it was a very old ship. It was a 19. I think I was on board 1976, and this was, I think, a ship built in 1972 or something like that.
So old rust bucket.
Yeah,
or?
Exactly. It was. You can go down in Anchorage one day, and suddenly you will have you're anchored, and suddenly you'll have a 10-degree list, and the captain will come up on the bridge, very cool, and says, "Okay, Abhinav, just go and check this number 2 cargo hold must be getting flooded from somewhere." So
yeah. Just for context, 10-degree list is a very big list on today's time, especially in the big ships.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've passed through a high of a hurricane, and
right,
that time somebody sent me and another cadet to go and check containers in force 8 or force 10 kind of weather on deck.
Oh,
okay, and we were literally thrown. We were with our safety harnesses.
Okay.
We were literally thrown into the water and
Yes.
brought back again on board with another wave.
what you mean? You went, like, you tasted salt water?
Yeah, because you're talking of a 108 meter ship, which is like 320 TU. So
Yes.
and you're in basically in an eye of a storm, because we lost containers the night.
Oh.
We lost containers overboard, so we had gone to check. And on those ships we did not have railings on the main deck.
Okay.
We had something called bulwark.
Okay, bulwark. Yeah, it's a term I've heard.
Yeah, so the bulwark you've seen on the forecastle.
Yep.
So you had it throughout the entire deck. There was no railings on top. So you had entire bulwark and gunnel and everything on the main deck. I mean,
Right.
these are terms you don't hear now.
Yeah. Yes.
So the entire section of almost 20 to 30 meters of bulwark went with the containers into the water.
My God.
Yeah. So basically, you're walking on deck, open to sea.
Oh.
So yeah. So and they send cadets that time to go and inspect containers. Yeah.
So you literally went.
Yeah, you literally went hanging on the ship side and then came back with
My God,
with another
this is
wave.
something.
Yeah.
It's like a movie which I'm imagining right now. Like on Discovery, there was a show with the deadliest catch or something, where the small trawlers go and try to catch crabs in all deep water, and then inside water then coming out. So similar to that is the visualization.
I mean, yeah, similar to that, but
Yeah.
luckily we held on to something.
Yeah.
So so it was not so bad.
So you didn't want to quit shipping at that time?
See, on those ships, we had nothing. We had no rest hours those days. So you started off. I literally started my day at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I finished at about 10 o'clock in the night.
Every day.
Every day. Okay, and then again you wake up the next day morning 4 o'clock, and there was no rest hours, nothing. Though it was, there are a lot of stages where today's, the Gen
Z, yeah.
or the Alpha now, the Alpha generation are the ones that are coming as cadets.
Okay.
So we were conditioned completely differently. But those were those times. You can't go back. If you go back to the 1920s, as Ibn was, you're walking with rubber slippers on deck and all that stuff in the 1920s. So it was tough, but we learned a lot. A lot of my knowledge, which I have today, practical knowledge, dealing emergencies, is all from what I learned in those days on the ship.
Like a hardship, really.
Yeah,
really.
I've had real rescue from enclosed space.
Oh, you mean like a real scenario?
Yeah. So basically, we were in dry dock. If I can.
Yes, please.
So we were in dry dock, and I've done things where you're not supposed to do. Textbook wise, today you're not supposed to do.
Right.
But again, I was maybe 7 months. 7 months as a cadet. Again, no pre-sea training. We had no drills on enclosed space rescue those days because it was not mandatory. We had your normal fire and abandoned ship drills. So those are the normal drills you had. You had no tabletop drills and no tank rescue, no collision drills, nothing. So we were painting the chain locker with a paint called bitumen, which is banned now.
It's toxic?
Yeah, it's toxic. You can't. And bitumen gets you a high. So it doesn't, you don't pass out, but you will start smiling suddenly.
Okay.
You will break out hysterically laughing.
Okay.
Or you may just become a statue. Right. So we had this one guy painting the chain locker without any gas mask. He's just wearing one of those normal masks. The COVID mask.
COVID mask, yeah.
And we had ventilation from both the spouting pipes into the chain locker. And he froze. Oh. He froze and he's looking on top and he's smiling.
Oh.
So I remember his name. His name was Harul, if I could say, but I don't know where he's sailing. I don't know where he is now.
Yes.
So he was an AB and he's looking and he's smiling. And now we're shouting at him and throwing some stuff at him and he's not moving.
Right.
So I ran up to call chief mate and I can't find chief mate. We don't have a radio and this is in the midst of dry dock and 100 people everywhere and there is no BS set standby, nothing. So what happened is the AB there, the AB there, he was a very senior AB and he did something which you're not supposed to do today. So I don't know. So I'm running around to call the chief mate. So he's taken the air hose.
The air hose, like
we had a compressed air hose,
like a pneumatic.
Correct, a pneumatic air hose because he was using the pneumatic hose to also paint spray painting machine.
Okay.
So he disconnected the hose. He took the hose down and he's breathing through the hose.
Oh, like pipe.
Yeah. So
pipe.
He's taking a deep breath through the hose. He went down. He put this guy on top of his shoulders, and then he's telling me. Then by the time I'd come up, and then I'm pulling him with because he just put a bowline around it.
Yep.
Luckily, we had a pulley on the top. We had to pull him, and then I'm pulling him, and then he's taking his weight. I'm pulling him, and then we managed to rescue him. We managed to bring that guy out. So totally what you see in the movies, And something like this you're not supposed to do today at all.
Yeah, the next question which was coming, since you're also in that safety department. So it's a very relevant question now. People ask me, what is the difference between the shipping, suppose in 90s where you were there, and now in the 24? Like, is it safety-wise?
Safety-wise, I can tell you, it is completely the opposite. It is a lot safer today. I mean, there is so much focus on safety today, and the thing is, in those days, there was a lot of hierarchy. You cannot talk back, you cannot answer. There was no collaboration. You cannot tell somebody, what you're doing is wrong. And there is a term called power distance. I don't know if you've heard about the term called.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this power distance is very low in amongst the Europeans and say America. Like say now, you'll have an American guy or a European guy who's very low down the ladder, but he will come and talk to you face to face, and he will not hold anything back.
Right.
But if you have a same like an Asian guy, or and somebody really low down the row, and then he will not talk to a CEO or a captain. He will always hide in the corner, never voice his opinion out. So those days the power distance was very large, and now it has become a lot smaller. So like you see, I mean, on the ships today, you will have a cadet coming up to a captain or anybody and saying, I think we can do it this way, or I think what we're doing is wrong, I think we should stop it, I don't think it's going safely, and everybody will listen to him. Or her, listen to him or her, and then and things are much better now. I mean, there is so much focus on safety training. There is so much focus on safety leadership.
Right.
There's a lot of focus on PP, which is the last line of defense. That is something which is really down the ladder. But a lot of focus on talking before the job starts, and toolbox talks and all those things. And so safety is much better today.
So just a contrarian viewpoint on this from my side, sir. So much regulations have come in, so many safety factors, parameters. Has it also taken out the fun of sailing, in your opinion?
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you.
Yes, that's why I said.
So the thing is, yes, it has taken the fun out of sailing. I remember, in the days when I was sailing as a junior officer or as a cadet, and we had ships that would be in port for like 14 days at a stretch. Some ships I've been in one ship. I've been in port for 25 days, and we were discharging chicken. Frozen chicken.
Oh, okay.
In boxes. So each box is like 15 kilos.
Right.
We're discharging frozen chicken.
So like a reefer ship?
Like a reefer ship, yeah. So it was a reefer ship. So, and then you could go out, you could, explore the place, make friends. And in fact, I'm in touch with so many people I've met in those days, even today. Like I've just met them out in a shopping mall, or, met them out at a restaurant, and, and then become very pally with them. And you're in touch with people there. But today, there's so much focus, like the minute you come into port, you're so focused with the authorities first. And the turnaround times are so short.
Right.
So there is a lot of cargo operations going on. And by the time you decide that you have to go, and a lot of ports don't give you permission to go out. The port is really far away. But if you go to ports like, say, Australia, New Zealand, which is a lot more closer, or the US, at least you get a chance to go out there, or Europe, in fact.
Yep.
But like even if you come to JNPT, by the time you decide to even get a show pass and go out, it takes a long time. It takes a long time.
Why I asked you this, because still everybody's in that misconception that sailors can go and see the world. Like this is the misconception which I've tried to break a lot from the videos which I made. But coming straight from you, experienced like from the 90s, the whole transition, you're still in the industry. So I think it gives a better and bigger perspective how things are, like you said, the safety sign, there was no railing. Now you can't even imagine a ship on main deck which does not have railing.
Yeah.
So it's a big change for sure. While at the same time, do you want to shed some light on the entertainment aspects of shipping? Like, is it like now entertainment on ship is better, or without the mobile phone and all that? Was it better in your time without all of this tech?
See, when I was sailing, we had no internet. I mean, in the early days, I only saw internet on the ships. Maybe in 2008 when we first got internet on board ships. But if you want internet before that, you had to go out and buy a SIM card, which was very expensive.
Right.
The thing is, when I started off, we used to write letters. So I have written maybe 10-page letters, 20-page letters, to the family. Then you wait for 2 months to get a reply.
Wow.
Because then you wait for the next port, give the agent that letter, then he will post it, and then they will get it, and they will write back, and then they will send it to the office. Then you wait for the office to send you the next mail to the ship. So you would write something today, and then you would get a reply 2 months. So, and it was not something, people were not upset. People knew that we have to wait 2 months, and people enjoyed the time on the ships. I mean, there was, every time you come down in the evening, everybody would gather around and you watch a video.
Right.
And you had the big VHS.
VCR.
Yeah, VCR. And then the most irritating part was if somebody watched the movie and did not rewind, then you had to sit there waiting 10 minutes to rewind.
Coil it back.
Yeah. So we had rewinding machines.
Okay.
So you just put the cassette in that and it rewinds it, and you keep the cassette ready. And there was a big sign that time, be kind, rewind. So that was posted in all the mess rooms there.
Right.
And so everybody got together and watched the movie and all that stuff. And there was a lot of bonding happening, a lot of physical interaction. I mean, you would sit down and talk to people. But today, with the dawn of the internet, people have become a lot more a lot more aloof. So you don't have that bonding. As soon as people finish their meals, they're straight in the cabins, and I feel today a lot of loneliness has come because of this. And if you even look at the younger generation today, who's on land, who's forget about being a seafarer. Everybody's on their PlayStation, everybody's on the phone. Or you see parents today, to keep their kids quiet, they give them an iPad. And I was just listening to one of very famous leadership coach. I don't know if you've heard about him. He's called Simon Sinek, and
I haven't heard.
Yeah, and he's written this book on why. Start with why. And he says, this giving an electronic device, so giving a mobile to a phone, to a child is like literally telling your adolescent child, like, adolescence is going to be crap and you're going to have a lot of mood swings and you're going to be upset, you're going to be sad. But here is a liquor cabinet. Whenever you feel sad, you can go and have a drink.
Oof.
And the phone does exactly the same thing to a child. Sit in your cabin and now you're feeling like very lonely, very bored.
Yeah.
What you do, a lot of people, they'll open up their mobiles.
Start scrolling.
It's not scrolling. They will look at all their phone list and they'll say hi to like 10 people. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And the minute you get that ting, that noise, the phone, it's that
dopamine.
the dopamine rush. Oh, I've got a message. Now let me reply. So this is what's happening today, and that's what's got the people, into the cabins and not socializing a lot.
Right. That's a very eye-opening point which you said. Thank you. So, you and I were on the same ship. For the audience, Sir came onto my ship for an audit. And that time, you gave me very insightful lessons on finance management. I wanted to bring you here for this particular reason, sir, because those tips which you gave me were like it can save me a lot of sailing days first, the way you told me about investing. Yeah. So I want to segment this into 3 parts, sir. The first part will be for the cadets, the financial journey for them. Second will be for the junior officers. And third for the senior officers. Okay. So I'll start with the junior officers, sir, with the cadets first. So as per you, sir, what did you not do right when you were a cadet with the stipend you were earning? And what are the better ways now, in your opinion, of perhaps finance management, the money you get?
Okay. It's also new to me. So I started reading a lot about finance when we had COVID. We were stuck at home, airports were closed, so we couldn't travel. So my financial knowledge, the bulk of my financial knowledge is in the last 4 to 5 years. Disclaimer here is I'm not SEBI registered, so I cannot give you financial advice.
Absolutely.
But I will share with what I learned.
Yes.
So I see a lot of people on the ships, they don't know how to manage money. It is changing a lot. I mean, the younger generation today are very informed. I mean, the internet has really helped there because there's a lot of information on the internet. But what triggered this out to me is, I was a few years back, a very senior director in one of the companies. He was literally close to the CEO, that kind of level. And he sent a message out. He sent an email out to a lot of his friends and family and to a lot of people who he sailed with and all that stuff, and saying that, I'm really, really sick. I mean, he didn't send a mail out. One of the people sent a mail out, one of his close friends, and saying that, and this guy cannot afford to, treat himself and he needs money. If somebody can contribute, it'll be really helpful. And that got me thinking, saying that when this guy was at such a high level, he's probably drawing a fantastic salary. Why does he need money at this age? And why does he, and that was something like saying, if I cannot take care of myself when I become 50 or 60, nobody's going to help me. Okay. And I have to start planning from a very young age. So that got me thinking, and saying that because I've come from very, very humble backgrounds. And one of the main reasons for also joining C is because my father couldn't afford to send me to college when I really need to go. So it's like, I said, okay, I'll come out as a cadet. I'll probably get like $50, $100 or $200 as a cadet. And I can still save that money and fund my own education. So I did a little research and I found out a lot of people at sea don't know, let's say for a cadet. And he would start earning maybe let's talk in how much a management company today they make. They make about 200, sometimes 300, $500.
Right.
And I would say that if you have no responsibilities and you don't have to send that money anywhere, then you start saving something. It can be even $10, $20, $30. The more you save, the better. And I used to follow this funda a little later in life, not when I was a cadet, that I will save first, I will invest first, and then whatever is remaining, I will manage with that. So I think that should be the mentality now. I mean, and don't restrict that for having fun. You have fun in life, you live your life because nobody knows what is going to happen tomorrow. And the thing is, you first cover the basics.
So as a cadet,
the younger you start, like if you look at the world famous investor Warren Buffett, he started investing at the age of 11.
11.
At 11, okay. He started investing at the age of 11.
Wow.
But he only became a billionaire after he became 65. And he started investing when he was 11 years old, if you read his books and all that stuff. And when you speak to him, and somebody spoke to him and said, you started investing at such a young age. And he tells them, I was 11 years too late.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that means if you started
investing as a child, if his parents started investing for him, he would have been much more better.
Right.
But again, I tell the guys, okay, maybe we can't go back to investing when we are a baby, but at least start investing from the time you're a cadet. And the main thing you have to do is first cover the basics. Okay, the basics I would say is life insurance.
Right, sir. Yeah, very important.
Very, very important. The second one is medical insurance, and the third one is have an emergency fund. Okay.
So what is emergency fund?
Yeah. So emergency fund is, say for example now, something happens to you. Okay, what people do is they go and break their savings, they sell their stocks or they sell their mutual funds, and then they take it out. The minute you take out your capital, what happens is that affects your long-term investing.
The compounding
gets affected. So if you go online and look at the explanation of emergency fund, there are a lot of people tell you that you can have at least 6 months of your living expenses or 1 year of your living expenses as an emergency fund. Say for example, if you need 25,000 to live, you need to save say 10 months is 2,50,000. So 1 year is about 3 lakhs.
3 lakhs, yeah.
So some people say at least have 1.5 lakhs in an FD or in a savings bank account.
Right.
Or if you want to keep 1 year, you put that 3 lakhs in a same thing, in a FD or savings bank. So tomorrow, if something happens to you, say that you need to go for a dental checkup, you don't have insurance, or your phone breaks, you suddenly need to change the screen, or you need to buy something, which you've not planned for, you need to replace your phone.
Yeah.
then you can go, or suddenly your computer breaks down, or
Right.
somebody throws your computer, and then you need to buy something.
Yes.
Then you can go and tap into an emergency fund. and
Okay.
keep it.
Okay.
So I would say,
Yes.
my personal thing is I like to keep 3 years of emergency fund.
Okay.
Okay. Then you'll ask me, but sir, what will you do with 3 years of money? Why are you
Yeah.
keeping 3 years of emergency fund?
Yes.
But the thing is, now tomorrow, nothing is certain. Tomorrow you lose your job. Another pandemic hits. They decide to lay off hundreds and thousands of people because companies can't survive. What will you do? How will you survive?
Right.
Now this pandemic lasted for so long.
Yep.
So is 6 months enough? 6 months may not be enough.
Yeah.
Then you run out of money.
Right.
So I keep 3 years. So in that 3 years, if I want, I can pick up another skill. I can go online, learn completely different, what I'm not learned
Right.
at all. Maybe pick up Power BI course, or maybe do something in ChatGPT, or do something in data analysis, or learn coding, or something like that, some new skill.
Right.
So tomorrow, if I have to change jobs, or I lose my job, I have something to fall back on.
So yeah, so like a cadet can save that if he's a cadet can save even suppose $50 in a month.
Exactly. So now if
Yeah.
a cadet starts, I would say I've done a little bit of math.
Please,
here.
yes,
So
yes,
I've done a little bit of math.
Please, sir.
And so some people will say, but sir, I'm only earning so little. I don't
Yeah.
have money. How do I make the emergency fund? How
Yes.
do I start saving? So I would say you can start with anything. You start with $100, or like let's talk about the shipping field.
Yes.
If a cadet makes $200 a month, I would say at least save $100. Save $100 and maybe put $10 or $20 in your emergency fund. And that emergency fund, because the emergency is not going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
It can, but
Yeah.
it may not happen.
Yeah.
So you may be putting, and the emergency may happen 10 years. And by that time, you've got enough in your emergency fund.
Right.
Okay. So the first thing is, okay, if you start with 100. Okay,
Yes,
I've done the math. Like say now you're a cadet for 2 years today. Okay. So you start with $100, which is about 8,000 rupees. And you just invest it into a very normal mutual fund or an index fund, if people know what an index fund is, which will give you 12%. I'm calculating on a 12% per annum.
Right.
So in 2 years, if you invest 8,000 rupees every month, that would get you to somewhere close to 2,15,000. Okay.
Wow.
Then now you become a third officer. Now you'll make more money as a third officer. So now you say you invest, you make a lot more salary as a third officer. So you are capable of investing at least $1,000 every month. So that is about 80K.
80K, yeah.
So if you invest at 80K for another 2 years, not touching the capital that you've made as a cadet.
Yes.
Okay. Now you're not touching this capital at all. So you invest another 80K for 2 years. So that 2,15,000 which you made as a cadet, and now you're investing 80K per month as a third officer for the next 2 years, at the same 12% per annum, it becomes 24 lakhs.
24.
Yeah. So now at the end of 4 years, you made 24 lakhs. Okay. Then you become a second officer. And now say you're a second officer for 3 years and you decide to invest more. So say from $1,000, you make it $1,500, which is maybe 1,20,000 a month. Okay. And say now you invest the same 1,20,000. And this is all at a 12% interest. And this is how compounding takes place. You will not see compounding making magic in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. Compounding makes magic from 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
You'll be amazed. And what happens is now you're a second officer. You said, okay, I will invest $1,500 a month. So that is about 1,20,000 per month.
Yeah.
You invest that for 3 years. So your corpus now from 24 lakhs has become 86 lakhs.
Oh.
Okay. So now 2 years cadet.
Yeah.
2 years
Third officer.
officer. 3 years second officer. So that's about 7 years. From 7 years from you started, you made 86 lakhs as your savings. Okay. Now you say, okay, fine, I will become chief officer. Okay. Now I say, okay, you're not getting promotion, something goes wrong, but you're a chief officer for 6 years. You can easily invest about 3,000 a month, which is less, which is still less. So that's about 2,40,000 in today's conversion. So for 6 years, if you start investing at the same 12%, 2,40,000 a month. Now at the end of 6 years, so now we've done 7 years first.
7 plus 6.
6, so 13 years, you will have 4.2 crores.
Wow. So 19-year-old, we start suppose 20 years.
20-year-old.
So 27 plus 6.
6, 33.
33, you're already a crore.
Yeah, you're already, by 33, you're already 4.2 crores. Okay, fine. You don't want to sit at home. Now you want to become a captain. Okay, and you say now at 33, you'll work for another 10 years as captain. Okay, so 43.
Yeah.
Okay? At 43, 10 years, you're investing $4,000 as a captain. Okay, say $4,000 every month.
That's like 3,20,000.
That's like 3,20,000. Exactly. And the same 12%.
And,
okay,
yeah.
which is very, very nominal. Okay, 12% is, some people make 12% in the stock market in a day. But then, okay, that's luck. That's a different thing.
Right.
You will make 21 crores by the time you're 43.
But,
Okay, and this is 12%.
Yeah.
The minute you increase this to 14 or 16,
Yeah.
it goes like say even if you increase this to by like say by say 15%, you're talking of 40 crores at the age of 33.
oh,
Okay,
oh,
so
yeah,
at 43.
43,
yeah.
yeah.
So basically now at 43,
Yeah.
you have reached something called FIRE.
Fire.
Yeah. So FIRE is a term what they call is financially independent, and you can retire early.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the term today
FIRE.
in amongst the Alpha and Gen Z generation. Okay, there are a lot of FOMO and FIRE,
Yeah, yeah.
missing out and all this stuff.
Okay.
So now you've saved so much money. So now people talk about SIPs. Every month putting this. So what I was talking is an SIP of the amounts I'm giving you
yes.
for at 12% per annum.
Right.
So say, and this is now you're not touching your corpus. So basically, in all this investing, you did not buy a house, nothing. Okay, or if you bought a house, it was something else, not touching this money at all. So at 43 years old, if you had say it took 3 years to give you exams in between, so 46.
Yep.
So at 46, you made that 21 crores. If you invest, you have something called okay. If you had changed that to 15%,
Yeah.
that would be almost. I would tell you, Yeah, that would be almost close to 35.
35
yeah,
CR.
almost 30 to 35 CR in that
At
range.
15%.
At 15%.
Instead of 12.
Exactly. And now if you take that 20 crores, okay, and put it into something called a SWP. Have you heard about an SWP?
I think systematic
Withdrawal plan. So now you want to pay yourself back because now you've said, "Bas ho gaya.
retire.
I want to relax. I may not retire. I may do something else. It gives me the flexibility to do. I don't have to work 9 to 5. I can make 2 hours a day and do something which I like, and that's enough. I can get some pocket change and pocket money to survive. If you invest at 20 crores at 14% per month, per year, per annum.
Just you mean take out the 20
Take it
crores?
out, put it into a systematic withdrawal
Withdrawal
plan.
plan.
So you can, again, before you do all this, please contact a registered advisor,
Yeah.
a registered financial advisor, and they will guide you all through. Because it's the financial world is not easy. There is a lot of things to learn, and there is taxes and all that stuff.
Right.
So if you invest at 20 crore at 14% per annum, okay, so a systematic withdrawal plan that gives you 14% per annum, and say inflation is 5%. I mean, I've taken a very low inflation. Inflation is much higher.
Right.
You can pay yourself 14 lakhs per month.
1/4.
Yeah.
For like leisure.
14 lakhs per month till you're 46. At 46, you decide,
Yes, retiring.
I want to retire. I take my 20 crores. I put it in the systematic withdrawal plan. You can pay yourself 14 lakhs per month for the next 34 years.
My God.
So till you're 80. I'm assuming you're going to live till you're 80.
80. 14 lakhs every month.
Every month. And the best part,
Yes.
at 80,
Yes.
you will have 100 crores left.
100 crores left.
Because of compounding.
Yeah. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
I remembering the ship days when you told me about this, and I was like, this is exactly why I wanted you to.
Yeah. So this is the power of compounding. So the sooner you start, the much better. That's why it is advisable for the cadets. You cannot start at $100. You cannot start at 8,000. Start with something and go online, learn about the markets, learn about mutual funds, learn about debt funds, learn about FDs.
Right.
Again, but just keeping your money in an FD or in the bank, which I did. I personally kept all my money in an FD for the first 40 years of my life.
First 40.
Yeah, 40. I only started investing when I turned like 40, 42.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was so late. So if I had started off when I was a cadet, I would have probably retired by now. Yeah, so
But that's like eye-opening numbers. You can't even imagine
You can't
30 crores. Forget 100 crores.
exactly. So that is the power of investing. That is the power of compounding.
And I think Merchant Navy is a very good medium to go about the saving because we have that money which is coming in.
Yeah, and
right?
the best part is, as a cadet, you get it at a very young age. Okay, so like say for example, when I was 18 years old, to get $200, I started off at about $150 in 1996. I think the conversion was about 30 something rupees that time for a dollar. Okay, but that time the bank, if you put your money in, so we had something called an NR deposit. I don't know if you've heard about it. Okay, if you put your money there, it gives you 17%. 17%.
Oh, okay.
Just the bank.
Oh.
So fixed deposits in those days were crazy.
Wow.
So we grew up in that age where your parents said, "Ghar kharido, bank mein dalo, LIC policy le lo." So something like that,
Got it.
Don't invest in the stock market. It's very dangerous. You'll lose all your money. Don't put, and then mutual funds, nobody heard about it. So everybody started buying houses, buying flats. And now you see, you buy a house so early in life and you think it's going to appreciate. It will not appreciate like the figures I'm giving you.
Yeah.
It will never appreciate that. Especially in India, I've never seen property appreciate that fast.
That percent.
And the thing is now, with the new budget and the indexation and all removed, you're going to pay a lot more taxes when you sell that house. And again, buying a house is, your money is not liquid. Okay. And a lot of times when you buy a house for yourself, it's not an investment because you're going to live in it. You're not going to enjoy
Right.
that. So I would say renting a place is an investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So I think this comes to the junior also aspect because I've seen some of my close friends buying a house and now they have to pay that big EMI. So they have to go back on ship. They can't wait long over here. So it's a big pressure, I believe, which you put on yourself. If you really need it, then yes, you need a house. But those who don't need it that much, so you suggest renting is a better way to approach it, right?
Exactly.
Right.
The thing is also, you must realize, the figures I've given you, 8,000 rupees as a cadet.
Yeah.
Then I said 80,000 as a third mate,
Yep.
1,20,000 as a second mate, 2,40,000 as a chief mate, 3,20,000 as a master. Now, you decide, okay, I want to buy a house in between. Like say second mate ho gaya, I want to buy a house now because that's the time when everybody buys a house. And now what happens is you decide, okay, and you don't get anything cheap now.
Right.
If you buy a house for 1 crore, your EMI will be at least 60 to 70,000 a
Minimum.
month.
Yeah.
So that 60, if you want to invest now 2,40,000 a month, and you're going to take that 60,000 or 80,000 from your that 2,40,000, you will not reach this 20 crores. And that's exactly what happened for me. I'm speaking out of experience because I decided, because everybody told me, buy a house. We don't have a roof over your head. Does it look nice? How long are you going to pay rent for? And so I succumbed to that pressure and I bought a house. And that property has not even doubled. Not even doubled. It's such a dud investment. And now I won't even sell it because I've become so attached to it. The house is happy for me.
Yes.
My
Right.
children were born there. How can I sell it? They have memories there. I can't sell it. So now it's like a dead investment.
So thank you for being that honest. It's I think it's a big learning for all of us, especially in the junior ranks, because suddenly we're getting so much money. We want to buy
I
a
know.
car,
Yeah.
a big car or a big house.
Yeah.
I think a better, smarter way is like you always told me that go for a small investment here, whatever it is. 7% also if you put in FD, I think it's better than buying a house. If
Exactly.
I may.
Yeah, anything. I mean, anything that gives you a return. Like
Yes.
the thing is, why do you need it? The first thing is, why do you need a fancy car? I mean, a car is a car. Whether you have a Maruti or whether you have a BMW,
Absolutely.
it still takes you from place A to place B. The same thing you're flying. Whether you're flying business class or economy class, your destination remains the same. It's not going to change. You're not taking by buying a business class ticket. You're not going to reach like a fancy paradise or something like that. You know, you're still going to have that 8-hour or 10-hour journey in a flight, and then you're going to reach the same destination. So I would say, if you learn how to live within your means and save when you're much younger, you will really enjoy the benefits when you become older. I mean, you have the thing is I was just listening to a podcast when I was driving here,
Right.
and this guy is 25 years old.
25.
Yeah, he's 25 years old. He has this question to one of a very well-known investor who teaches, and he's like, I want to retire by the time I'm 30.
30.
Yeah, he's saying I want to retire by the time I'm 30. That's why he's earning 25,000 a month, but he's saving like 17,000 from that, and he's investing 17,000. He's only living on that remaining.
7,000.
Yeah. So and everybody asks him, why do you want? He's saying, like, there's so much pressure, because people give you such fancy packets of salary, and they don't expect you to work 9 hours a day. You have to work 12 hours a day or 14 hours a day, and there's a lot of stress at work. So he's like, no, I want to retire early, and then I want to do something which I like. I was just listening to a podcast when I was driving here,
Right.
and this guy is 25 years old.
25.
Yeah, he's 25 years old. He has this question to one of a very well-known investor who teaches, and he's like, I want to retire by the time I'm 30.
30.
Yeah, he's saying I want to retire by the time I'm 30. That's why he's earning 25,000 a month, but he's saving like 17,000 from that, and he's investing 17,000. He's only living on that remaining.
7,000.
Yeah. So and everybody asks him, why do you want? He's saying, like, there's so much pressure, because people give you such fancy pack. Yeah.
But such a great insight, I believe. For me, when you first told me, Oli, on the ship, thank God you came. And thank God, even my father gave the same advice when I started earning, that you need to put this much amount, whether you like it or not. I was crying that, why would I want to put this? Right now, I want to buy a sports bike, But now I see the magic within 7 years. What has happened? So, lots to learn from these figures, which you said, and but the discipline required, sir, for this.
The discipline required is a lot.
It sounds easy.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And your father, I must say, is a very, very wise man, guiding you in that direction.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nobody told me that when I was your age.
Right, sir.
So I had to learn everything on my own. But again, you need a lot of discipline, So go online. Everything is available online. There are so many books. There are so many courses that you can do.
Right, sir. Any book you recommend which you read which changed your perspective?
The first book that I read was, like the Bible, where everybody starts, is that Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, so I read that, and that told me that your money has to work when you are sleeping.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
if your money is not working for you when you're sleeping, then what are you working for?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's it. So when you sleep, your money has to work for you. So that's when you can reach your goals and retire early, enjoy life when you're retired. Because the thing is, a lot of I can see example with my parents and everything. It's very difficult. They don't understand how bad inflation is. Like, say for example, today I was just doing the math before I came.
Yes.
If you need 1 lakh a month today to live, 30 years down the line, you need something in the range of 5 to 6 lakhs
For the same lifestyle.
for the same lifestyle with 7 to 8% inflation.
I want to touch this topic now.
Yeah.
Why aren't salaries increasing in merchant navy, sir?
That's
Please tell me.
yeah, so if you know the answer, I would be really, really happy. Yeah.
I mean, I'm being very honest. You tell me, as a third mate, I was supposed getting in the range of $3,500 or $3,000 to $3,500, something. Were you also getting the same?
As a third mate, it was between the range of 2,000 to 2,500.
So it has increased.
It is increased
500 more.
It is increased a little more. It is not the same.
And
Definitely not the same.
which year are you talking about this?
So I was a third mate 2001 to 2003. So I started off at $1,800. I remember very clearly. $1,800 lump sum in hand.
Okay. So 1,800 to a first time, second officer, third officer in these days around $2,500 to 3,000.
Yeah.
Now it's standard.
Yeah.
It is standardized even more. And the inflation, if you calculate 6%, also 1,800 and 2,500 is a very small.
See, Taran, what is happening is now you and I,
Yes.
we don't have that control. It's very difficult because now we don't run shipping companies. Okay, so the people who run shipping companies have done their due diligence and decided they've benchmarked with the whole industry and all that stuff, and decided that this is what we will pay to a second mate, cadet, third mate. That's why I tell the guys, investing early is important.
I think we only have to take that.
Yes, you have to take care of your own self. No, don't depend on somebody to give you a raise. Don't depend on somebody to give you a hike. I told you, you start saving now as a cadet. By the time you're 40, 43, you're a crorepati. And then you dictate the terms. You don't like sailing that time, or you don't like your job, or you're sitting behind a desk and you're pushing buttons the whole day. You decide what you want to do. The game, the ball is in your court. I said 20 crores, 14 lakhs a month. And even, today's 1 lakh will be about 3.5 something that time. So you are sitting now on 14 lakhs a month.
Right.
How much you're going to spend? If you are a guy who lives properly, you maximum spend 5 or 6. What are you going to do the rest? You're going to invest the rest.
Yeah, then it's.
So remember, at 18, that 100 crores will be 500 crores.
Oh, I think one thing audience can take away from this, even I'm thinking, is the magic numbers of compounding, right, sir?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the message you also very clearly told me on that day. Until date, I'm very happy you could make it and tell this calculation, especially because Otherwise, we can talk and say, oh, this big yarn of, but with the numbers, it becomes more clear. And I think people can calculate also with this percentage interest rate. I think there are calculators now online on Google if you, right?
Yeah, I think there is apps. You can go on apps and, there is the app called Compounding Calculator, which I use. And in that app, you will have how much is your initial investment, how much is your interest you're looking, whether you're contributing yearly, monthly, quarterly.
Right.
You can change it, and then you could calculate. I mean, maybe some of the figures I said was not entirely correct, but you're more or less in the same vicinity. So you could go there, you can calculate and put it. And the thing is, what happens is nobody tells you the math. The minute you do the math, everybody tells you, "Are stock market mein dalo, you will multiply money, idhar dalo, but nobody tells you what will happen, how you can multiply, how it is safe.
Right.
A lot of people, like if you talk to all the ladies, especially like if I talk to my mom, oh, buy gold,
Yeah.
Okay, that's one thing. Buy gold, you have to buy gold.
Right.
Now another thing, people are this misconception. Now you'll buy gold, and a lot of people end up buying physical gold.
Okay.
So, and you're not going to buy 5 grams, 10 grams.
Right.
You buy 5 grams, 10 grams today, but over a period of 10, 15 years, if you're going on buying gold, you'll end up with a lot of gold.
Yep.
Then you're scared.
Where to keep it?
Now, where to keep it? If I keep it in the house and I go for a holiday, if my house gets burgled, what do I do? So what you'll do is now you'll go to the bank. You'll say, I'll keep it in the locker. It's safe. So now you're going to pay the bank, pay somebody to keep your own money.
Oh.
Understood?
Yeah, I got the...
So you work very hard for that money, which is not multiplied much because the way gold is given rate is not so great over there when you compare it with different other assets. It's a debt asset. It's a hedge you can do against other investments. So then you keep it there. Now you're paying the bank to keep your own money. Okay, so what I tell is, if you want to buy gold, there is something called sovereign gold bonds, which is given by the SGB, by the government of India, and they will give you. And when you sell physical gold, that they'll say, "Arey sir, ye 22% here. It's not pure. This much wastage." You will not end up getting the same money.
Value,
You will get that day's gold value, but you will lose a lot on this wastage and all that stuff.
Right.
So if you buy these sovereign gold bonds, you get an interest of 2.5% per annum.
Right.
And you can sell it at that time at that day's rate.
Okay.
And everything is electronic.
So no need to keep it in a locker.
Nothing. No need to keep it in a locker. It's online. It's in your Demat account, wherever it is, and then you have gold.
Beautiful. I think something which I also need to research. SGBs.
SGBs, yeah.
Right.
That's a different way you can diversify your assets. So that like the old saying goes, don't put all your eggs in the same basket.
Right.
So investment also is something the same. Yeah.
Right. So let's come back to your journey now. So how was it when you first took the command of your vessel, of the first vessel, sir? Well, how was the feeling then?
Oh, that was
yeah.
So it was a brilliant feeling. I mean, I had a wonderful time on my first ship. I had a fantastic crew to sail with, and it was so good. And that because you're the leader. When you become a captain, everybody looks up to you, and you have to lead by example. And a lot of my leading style was leading with empathy. Like tomorrow, if somebody does something wrong, I will immediately put myself in his shoes. What if I did the same mistake? How do I want my captain or my senior to react with me? And that was my leadership style. In fact, I had such a good time that I actually have a plaque which is made by the entire ship with all their signatures, and each crew has made something, like they made a knot or something, put on that plaque and given me for my birthday on that ship.
Wow.
So those are the things. Being a leader is, tomorrow if I'm your leader, I'm only a leader on the ship.
Right.
The minute I leave that ship, Karan, you don't know who's Avinash. Avinash doesn't know who's Karan. But what I look as a leader is, tomorrow I need you, Karan. You will come anytime I call you, whether you're on the ship or not. So that is my leadership style. So I had a fantastic time on my first ship.
Yeah.
The worst part was it was in 2010, and I was only sailing in the Gulf of Aden.
Okay.
So the heightened risk of piracy.
The Somalia and all of that area.
Yeah, Somalia. And at the same time, a lot of ships were getting hijacked and all that stuff.
Have you encountered pirates by any chance?
Yeah, I did. Once I was on a car carrier, and luckily we were high up. So we had a lot of boats approaching us, and we were in the Gulf of Aden. And the worst part was I was really, really scared because I had my wife on board.
Oh.
She was sailing with me, and the captain's wife was on board.
Okay.
And his children were on board, and we were like really, really worried.
Right.
But luckily we were fast, we were high, and they attacked the tanker behind us.
Oh, they did attack.
They attacked the tanker behind us. They boarded the tanker, but we managed to hail the Coast Guard.
Okay.
And they sent a chopper for rescue immediately. So I don't know what happened, but we just sped. Yeah, we just left that place and left as fast as possible there.
Yeah, because you know why most of people, when they think of merchant navy, what comes is storms, pirates and all of that. But it is still, people still go through it. It is still there, but what are your views on now, how the security, has it lessened like this piracy and all?
I was seeing a video on this piracy sometime back, and there's this one British reporter or some reporter who had gone into Somalia, and he was asking these guys, why are you doing this and why are you doing this thing? And the only thing the response he got, which struck me, is, we need food. We are just hungry.
Oof.
We don't want money. We are hungry. That's all they said. So you cannot control that. Now things, you will have economic imbalances everywhere. You will have wars which are currently already going on, and you cannot control that.
Right.
And piracy is one of the oldest professions in the world. Okay, it's been there from for a very, very long time.
Right.
So you can't control. Every company I know are doing their best. There is a lot of focus on security on ships, and I see a lot of companies doing a lot. In fact, now you see the Red Sea is completely closed.
Yep.
All the companies are diverting their vessels down the Cape of Good Hope, which is more bunkers, longer time sailing, more money spent, but it's all for the safety of the crew.
So from that leadership position on a ship, why did you choose to transition into the shore?
So the thing is, I was making an impact on one ship.
Okay.
So I wanted to make a larger impact. It's like, I did this one ship, then you came back to the same ship. So more or less, you're sailing with the same people.
Right.
A lot of times people change, but one or two will still remain the same. So I said, and I like meeting people. I like sharing experiences, and I'm a constant learner. And one thing I would recommend to all the young listeners out there, all the young people out there, is never ever stop learning. Okay, because that's the only thing that will keep you occupied, active, get you new way of thinking, and probably land you better jobs in the future. Right. Never stop learning. And when you speak to other people, you learn a lot. So that's why I decided, okay, let me go, because then I can go on 1 or 2 ships every month. Make a difference there, teach a lot about we did a lot of training on drills, on security, on safety, on leadership also.
Okay.
And a lot of people, even I met a guy who had done an audit with me almost 7-8 years ago, and he still comes back and he has this particular, I like this 30 minutes you spent with me, and this is what you said, I don't even remember. It is still stuck with me.
So like me.
So
that's a quality you have. Yes, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So I like to make that impact, so a lot of things, like a lot of people told me when I was sailing with them as captain, we like the way you lead, we like the way how you behave as a captain. We never felt that we were away from home.
Right.
We always felt that we had somebody watching our back. And my leadership style, I say leadership is something nobody's taught. I mean, nobody teaches you to become a captain.
Right.
I mean, you will do courses and you will do the basic what the DG has said and all that stuff. But nobody teaches you how to manage people, how to lead, how to handle emergencies, what happens when people are down, when really down, and all that stuff.
Right.
And for me, again, constant learning online and all that stuff. Being a leader, or being a captain, just being a leader is exactly like being a parent.
Oh, so beautifully put.
Yeah. So that is what I mean. Tomorrow, if your son or daughter is not performing, is throwing a tantrum, failed in school, are you going to walk up to your child and say, sorry, Karan, say for example myself, Karan, you're not doing well, I'm putting up for adoption tomorrow?
Yes.
You're never going to do that.
Yeah. I understood that point. Yeah.
You're never going to do that. You're going to sit down, you're going to talk, you're going to mentor, you're going to teach them, you're going to find out what their problem was. And that's exactly what I used to do. I've had guys doing really, really bad things on the ship.
Okay.
Like, even, and I've seen this from some captains I've sailed with.
Okay.
And they sat with them, explained to them, taught them, mentored them, coached them, told them what can go wrong, how this can affect your life. And I told them, the minute you lose your job, or you're unsafe, you have so many people relying on you.
Right.
Okay. So like I had this one picture I saw on the internet, and this is like safety. And this guy had a very, very fast car. He's driving a very, very fast car. And that car can go up to like even 250, 300 miles per hour, something like that. And on his speedometer, he had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And then he had a picture of his family.
Oh, wow.
After that, that's it. He stuck a picture of his family after that.
Powerful.
Yeah. And that is something that's really, struck me, saying that, okay, this is when you slow down. And this is something I used to tell the people, put a photograph of your whole family at the door, or even put it in your locker, in your safety locker where you keep all your PPE. Just before you go out, look at that picture.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at that picture, because that is who you are working for.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. A lot of big lesson there. So what do you actually do now on shore? Let me just
so basically right now I'm in marine assurance.
Okay.
So our main responsibility is carry out internal audits, which is a mandatory requirement as per the ISM code. Apart from audits, we also do a lot of investigations into accidents. So we do a lot of accident investigations into fires, collisions, groundings, mostly maritime based.
Okay.
We also do a lot of bridging the gap between shore and the ship.
Okay.
We're telling them that we're all part of the same team. There is no two teams here. So our main goal during vessel visits is to talk to the crew, find out what's going wrong, what's going well, how we can improve systems, how we can make the whole place a much better place to work in.
Right.
What are your suggestions? How can we help you? It's not like 30 years ago when the superintendent came on board, the master, everybody ran in opposite directions. Everybody ran in opposite directions because nobody wanted to sit and face with him. But today you go in there, everybody wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, I have this problem, this is what's happening, and this is, and then we are there to listen. You're there to listen.
Right.
If we can't help you, we will go and take it to somebody ashore who can help you. But the main job is audits and investigations. Yeah.
I think when you were coming, I'm remembering that time. I think it was December last year. If I'm not wrong. We were actually quite like, it was not like, oh, superintendent is coming, or what. Like now we have come to that realization that they're to help from the inspection which are going to happen in the other ports. That's what the bridging gap is, right?
The thing is also a lot of people go, my superintendent ashore is not helping me, and a lot of focus is on budgets, and I'm not getting what I need. And then we're trying to tell them, see, everybody is working because they have to work, they have to make money, they have to earn.
Right.
He's doing what he's told, you're doing what you're told. The thing is, again, there will be a lot of factors. There will be budgets, there will be controls, there will be economic wars, there will be downturns, there will be upturns. We cannot handle everything. But as persons, you're the one on the scene. Your superintendent is the one on the scene there. Talk to them. I mean, everybody's reasonable. Nobody wants to do the wrong thing.
Yeah,
everybody's reasonable. So that is what we go to, to encourage more of that behavior. And it's changing a lot. Right. It is changing a lot. I mean, we walk on board, people are so friendly, and and we are coming again as a different set of eyes to make sure that you guys are running safely. The main aim is we put you on a ship. You're coming with your whole 2 hands, 2 legs. You have to go exactly the same way back. You have to work safely. If you cannot work safely, stop it. Take a step back. evaluate the situation, decide, talk about it, do the job again. Yes.
So I think you are still related to the sea very much, right? Yeah. I think you like that.
I like that. Yeah,
right?
I like that connect because you still have
Yes.
the best of both worlds. You have the best of the sea, and you have that shore by experience in the background, and you keep going back and forth. Yeah.
Because what I spoke to a few of our guests, they totally transition. Yes, they still talk about missing the sea, but I think your kind of job is a very unique job. If I think there are not many jobs like this where you keep visiting ships every time and sail on them.
Every company generally has a marine assurance team who does audits.
Okay.
But a lot of the some companies, a lot of the audits they do it in port where you don't get time.
Okay.
But we specify that we want to sail with the vessel, so we get more time and we can do the inspection and audit and the visit much more thoroughly and and get that feel, because the minute I can come in port, like unfortunately your ship I did in port.
Singapore.
We did only in Singapore, and we hardly spent like a couple of hours.
Right.
But I was glad I was able to make an impact on you in this couple of hours.
And see where we are right now, sir.
Exactly. So the more time you get, the bigger impact you can make.
Right, sir. Good. Yeah. I think Captain Avinash, you have taken us through a beautiful journey of financial literacy, as well as the ISPS times and post ISPS times. I mean, how the general conditions were regarding to shore leaves and all, as well as the safety parameters. Any message you have for the youth, perhaps, who are watching? Like most of the youth aspirants are watching these podcasts. So, any message you want to convey to them, which you really think they need right now?
See, I can tell you from personal experience. Coming out to sea made me learn a lot about patience, a lot of discipline, because everything is so time-based here. So it gave you a lot of discipline. It gave you of how to look at things systematically, because we are so process-driven. So it's like, what do we do before? What do we do after? What do we do during? How do we finish the whole thing? So it gives you, and it teaches you all these life skills. Like the best part is leadership. Being a captain is not easy, because when you are a leader ashore, okay, let's say you're a leader ashore, you have your team, and you see the same faces. Provided you don't leave the company, you will invariably see the same faces for the next 5 years, 10 years, if they're loyal. And you know exactly, I mean, after a few months, maybe 6 or 8 months, okay, what that guy's family background is, what he's good at, where you can tap into his skills, where you don't have to rub him the wrong side. And then you develop your leadership style based on that. But being a captain on the ship, every 15 days, somebody on your team is changing.
Right.
Somebody is signing off, somebody is signing on. And you're on board for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And so within that period of time, you have to judge that person. You have to amend your leadership style if that guy is different. And you're constantly learning. You're constantly evolving, being different kinds of leaders. And that is something which I only learned on the ship. Where if I was ashore, I would have been, one narrow-minded kind of a leader. But it gives you a very broad perspective. You're meeting new nationalities, new people, different countries. So, it is a fantastic learning experience when you start off. Okay? And it teaches you so many life skills which you will never get sitting on a desk. Yeah, because you're sitting on a desk, you're working with your hands, you're doing safety, you're doing inspections, and you're doing security. Then again, you're going on the bridge, you're doing navigation, you're going to engine room, you're learning something technical. So it teaches you so many. I mean, like say, for example, if you are a coder, you will be only sitting and doing coding. You will not know how a machine works. You will not know about the weather outside. You will not know anything about the clouds. You will not know how the engine works. You will not know the different kinds of fuel oils you deal with.
Absolutely.
So you're learning so many things. So basically, that's why they say being a captain is like being a jack of all trades, master of none.
Thank you, sir. And I think we'll have to get you back, because certain segments are still remaining, which I have in mind. Okay. And I think you can do a lot of justice to that, sir. Thank you for coming, sir. And wishing you a safe voyage as you're going.
Thank you very much, Karan, for having me. It was my first time, but I really enjoyed this.
My pleasure, sir.
And best wishes to all your listeners. And again, you've been doing some wonderful work. I follow you a lot. Keep up the good work. And I'm telling you, you are somebody who is going to shine in the future.
Thank you so much, Captain Avinash.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that was Captain Avinash with us. Hope you all liked the podcast and got some good insights on finances. Don't forget to share this video as well as comment who all you would like to watch on this platform. Signing off, KSN. Thank you.